Hello everybody, welcome to a very cold UK for our top 5 tips of the month of December in Marvel Contest of Champions. Our first tip of the month starts off with objectives. Our first tip of the month is all about objectives, whether or not it's speed of light, which is the Quicksilver one. There's many places you can go, whether or not you want to spend 0 energy by going into the likes of Incursions, or there is something which is a very limited time only, and that is going to be the Halls events. Some Halls events, I think that I definitely know that Halls of Glory has a 0 energy spend, so if you use your Quicksilver in that, it will be costing you 0 energy. Not quite sure on Halls of Healing, or if you could just use any 1 energy base tile spend events, like what about the Road to Labyrinth, which is the one that I use. Doing these particular challenges can be seen as a little bit challenging. Doing your light attack, well, it's going to be very important. I would say go into a parry and then kind of start the chain reaction there if you are going to do that. Using higher versions or even leveling up the champion will mean that it'll be more potent, so it'll take less taps, less swipes and other things in order to do stuff. That was the light attack version. I don't need to do that, but I did get a question in a comment and I just wanted to kind of showcase like it is doable. That was doing the light attack just by going tap 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 parry tap 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 tap. That should be a song. The current one that I'm on at the moment is doing the heavy attack, and it may be a case that I want to just like break down the champion so it's got like, you know, less health. So boom 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 down to 30%, and then we're going to go into a parry right in a minute. If come on champion, go at me. There we go. Parry heavy. There we go. So that's like how I'd kind of do that one, which should do. There we go, perfect. And that's another one kind of done. It's very straightforward objective. When it comes to the other objectives, just put a Guardian on your team. We've talked about in the past the Bacon one, which is the one that's with Spider-Ham. But these are very much kind of like easy doable type objectives that are very simple to kind of get done. The next tip is last minute unit grab. One thing that's going to be very important, especially when it comes into things like the Banquet event, is to grab units as quickly as possible. So between today and the endpoint of the Banquet event, which I believe is the 11th of January, there is 30 days. That means it gives you 30 opportunities to do your solo events. Use this. This is great because 30 times 25 units is 750 units. I'm just going to put a lot of things into perspective, which I'm going to go over right now. For those that have and it's on screen now, the dethroned event, which is on 190 units, you get 140 units in the 5-star Shard Arena currently on at the moment. And do bear in mind, you know, this will end this week. And then there's 3 event quests. If you do them to 100%, it'll be 450 units based on 150 units you get per time when you do them. There is going to be a calendar this month which adds another 100 units. So you could look to have 1,630 units. There's 1,530 units from the stuff mentioned, but as I said, add another 100 units from the calendar. It's very important. So there are places that you can go to grab units. Yeah, you could go down and do an auto fighting in an old variant, but let's face it, you might have kind of exhausted that. Arena grinding, I know that some people aren't too interested with it. I mean, for me, I'm not spending money in Marvel Contest of Champions. That's a fact. So where do I get my units? I've got to go and do a bit of arenas to grab units. That's going to be my first port of call. So yeah, you'll probably see a lot more kind of arena-based streams for the purpose of grabbing units. I want to be competitive within the Banquet event. I want to be able to do 12,000. I'd like to do 12,000 units into the particular event. It's touch and go whether or not that will happen. But that's what I put in last year that I spent money in order to do. So I want to, you know, do it for free and save myself the money. Yes, I will get the hassle, but at the same time, I'm not spending the money. let's be brutally honest right here. I'm in the same boat as many other people. So you can grind along in the live streams with me, and we can chat, we can chill, and we can do all those things. The next top tip is all about the Banquet event. Yes, the Banquet event is not out yet. It's out next week. Why am I doing any kind of like tips right now? Well, we can get ahead of the game because we can think about the important matters. So as a lot of you know, this is a solo based event. Even though that it's got alliance based participation, which kind of like helps out to stuff, it is a case that doing things when it comes to gifting and gifting other players is not there. This is good in some cases because it eliminates the scammers, it eliminates the bot accounts. Yes, there will still be things like credit card fraud from an individual standpoint, which I'm sure Caban will weed out, but it's definitely in a better position than, you know, it used to be with this stuff. You will get your points from opening the Banquet and Greater Banquet crystals. So that kind of points out that. And that's going to be very important because you may be like, right, well, Kabam forces you into more of an RNG based situation of, right, in order to get points, you have to open these crystals. And in order to get these crystals, you're going to have to spend units. This is why I've been talking about, you know, from a non-spending standpoint, how you go about getting the most units in a very short space of time if you have exhausted your supply from Cyber Weekend, which I kind of have, but I reserved back some units for this particular event just to kind of like, you know, have a seat at the banquet, so to speak. But yeah, so the other thing that is important to mention with this is that there'll be a part 2 to it. The part 2 will be gifting consumables. This is going to be referred to as like, it's not like a kudos system. I can't remember what you can refer this at, but it's got to, this is the last time your alt accounts will be able to gift your main accounts. And this is all your main accounts gifting your alt accounts on consumables. No crystals, just consumables. This will be important if you want to try and like build up your second account, your alt account, but also build up your main account. I would really recommend looking into what is going to be options for consumable gifting next week, as you may have something like, I mean, here's a good example. If your alt account gifted your main account energy refills, why is that important? Well, it's important for Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds requires you to use energy for it. So you may be kind of looking at a situation of going, right, well, if I give some energy refills to my main account, then that means I don't have to spend units on extra energy refills or get lucky when it comes to things like crystals, quest crystals, free crystals and stuff like that. So maybe use that as an advantageous thing. The same thing with the main account, gifting things like mastery cores, if those are kind of there. But I think because it's consumables, how it would kind of like be more health potion revive and stuff like that. But we'll have to see with it. More on that particular topic next week when it all goes live and I can do more in-depth guides. But what I'm trying to do is get you thinking about what would be good to change, swap, and also acquire, and also gather units for, and also think about the event between now and next week. Tip number 4 is all about side quest, your relationship with the side quest. At the moment, the relationship with the side quest is, it may not feel like it's totally rewarded in a way that you would be happy with. So I've seen certain takes, especially for those at Thronebreaker Paragon, looking at this event and going, look, we had Elder difficulty last month, and that was a bit more well rewarded than this month. Okay, so how do we have a better relationship with this one, or how do we look at this event? As I said in a video, and the tip here is all about, just look at it as a top-up event, topping up what you feel rewards wise that you did not get that much of. You can treat the event like targeting one specific thing. If you didn't get that many tier 5 basic fragments, then you can target going down X amount of times, 49 times, 40 times, whatever times, into the workshop to grab yourself loads more tier 5 basics. You know, you can get 20, for example. Or it's the case that you didn't get that many shards this month because whatever reasons. So save your scrap to the end of the event, towards the end, which is like in January, and then go, right, okay, well, I didn't get many shards, I want to acquire more champions, or give another chance to acquire another champion, or save up things like, you know, next featured 6-star, then go and do 40 kind of like grabs in the for 6-star shards in the workshop. The same thing with tier 2 alpha fragments, the same thing with tier 5 class catalyst, teamwork dreamwork crystals. This is all about you picking what you lack the most of and going to target it, rather than going like, right, well, there's no kind of good even spread. Like, Kabam aren't going to buff these. They're not going to buff up the rewards in a very short space of time. It's just not going to be there. So you have to have a different relationship with this particular side quest. Yes, it's bad, or it's not as super well rewarded as Elder difficulty was, but look at it as a point of, okay, well, I can add this. This can give me more. This can help out with a rank up. This can help me with more shard acquisition for something that I actually want. So have a different relationship with it and take it as, use it, all your scrap towards the end of the event and grab something that you like. And the final tip of, well, basically this is the year. This is the final top 5 tips of the year. I've done, I think this is the second year of doing this now. So this is, I want to say potentially the 24th time I've done this. Maybe even more than that. But yeah, this is the final tip. And the final tip is all about, look at what you want to achieve. Put a jobs list. a target list, a structure list. I've got an MCOC jobs list, which is just always gets like large and it's like never get everything done. But at least to say it's there, and hopefully this year, by the end of this year, I'll be able to finish what I set out to do. One of the things I set out to do was create a roster, or start taking the roster in a way that I could be ready for season 4 of Battlegrounds, and that comes from ranking up champions that are difficult defenders, decent offensive options, and stuff like that. And I would say, if you're out there kind of like, look at your progression, things that you want to achieve in 2023, maybe set up structures for yourself when it comes to grinding, plans, prestige bumps, you name it. And that's just a thing, you know, Command may have some more announcements on stuff, but yeah, just have a look at your roster and kind of go like, well, where can I make gains? Look at your relic situation. And that's one thing on my MCOC jobs list, is to look at relics. How can relics kind of make an impact in my roster? Where do I want to make an impact? Is it going to be beneficial? And stuff like that. So yeah, make sure to do that and create a jobs list, a structure list, a target list, a goals that you want to achieve list, especially for 2023 and the end of the year, especially because Kabam will take a larger break between now and the early part of January. For, you know, a lot of games developers do that. And there we go, that's been the top 5 tips of the month of December. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to check out some other content which will be located on the screen right now, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers everybody, have a great day, bye bye.